Hey, I'm Ted Vieira, and a lot of the videos that I've been putting out on this channel since I've started putting out a lot more video recently have all been about Fuji. Their cameras, the X series, their bodies, the lenses, the XT1, the X100 series. And even if I put out an occasional video about like a camera bag or an adapter, by the end of the video, it was still about Fuji. And so obviously, since I am so passionate about this gear, about shooting with this gear, about the shooting experience and the image quality that I'm getting from this gear, I wanted to talk today about the camera that started it all for me and for a lot of us. And of course, that's the Fujifilm X100, the original one. Now, this came out in 2011. And Fuji didn't make this groundbreaking camera that showed like the future of camera design and sleek, all black and no buttons. And, what they did is they took a step back. They went retro and they gave photographers the manual control over their exposure again by putting like an aperture dial on the lens, by putting shutter speed and exposure compensation dials on top of the camera. So very retro, very manual control, not having to go so much through the menu anymore. Um, and that was just very appealing with the overall retro look, the overall retro functionality, and the image quality that was coming from this camera. Wow, I was really, really attracted to this. And very personally, just because photography in general for me has a very nostalgic essence to it. I'm attracted to the photography of the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. From the jazz era, wow, that's the stuff that really made me want to be a photographer in the first place. With these black and white images, these just striking subjects. So if I just say the word photography, that's the kind of stuff that occurs to me, that appears in my mind. So if you go retro, you've already got my attention. So I was doing all my pro gigs with a Canon 5D Mark II, and their system, all the L glass and everything that goes with all that. And I was just using this for my play camera and street photography. So I would go down, walk up and down the strip, and go to downtown Las Vegas and just start taking street shots, do a lot of street portraiture. And it was so much fun. The very first time I ever took this out, I went down to the casinos and I would go in and I would just start shooting, and I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't stop smiling, and I'm not even I'm not exaggerating, I'm not joking. I couldn't stop smiling. This was so stealth. If you go into a casino and you've got like a 5D Mark III or any big DSLR, and even like a 24 to 70, which is not a big lens in DSLR land, but security is very observant, and they won't like that. And you will be approached, and it will affect your shooting experience. With this camera, nobody cared what I was doing. And you can't hear the shutter. A lot of people didn't even know I was taking pictures, and if they did, they didn't care. I was just this guy with his dad's camera, old film camera, taking shots that wouldn't bother anybody. So wow, how much fun, right? Still shooting all the pro gigs with my Canon system. And I had fun with that too. But that was usually because of the people I was working with and the projects and that kind of stuff. As far as like the fun shooting experience, that came from Fuji. And so since I did get the first version and the first version of firmware 1.0, okay, quirkiness is a polite term that we've all used to talk about this camera when it first came out. But with a number of firmware updates, and the last one coming out even after the camera had been discontinued for a few months, boy, it made this camera pretty wonderful. And I kept shooting with it. I didn't even get the X100S. I kept the X100 and kept shooting it with it until just a few months ago. When I finally upgraded, well, I made the switch completely at that point over to Fuji. And I got the XT1 and some lenses, and but also upgraded to the X100T. And wow, it just keeps getting better and better. A lot of, physically looks very much the same. A few minor changes. You get the T and just a little bit of styling on top. But the main changes are all on the inside with the that hybrid viewfinder just getting better between going back and forth in optical and EVF and the screen-on-screen thing for focusing. The new focusing, well, that's been there for a while as far as like the focus peaking and the other assist modes. But they started, then they put the classic chrome film simulation in there. I don't even like color. I love classic chrome. It's so beautiful. And the other thing that really attracted me and made me want to go ahead and get the X100T is I wanted the Wi-Fi, because I wanted to either, be able to shoot images over to my phone and upload them, share them right away, or I wanted to be able to share like a street portrait with somebody that I might have met and started talking to, took their shot, and printed the image out. And these cameras are just so great. I'll always have an X100Z, whatever the series brings out, because it's just it's a camera. I love shooting pictures of family stuff with my nephew Noah. And he's a guy who can get kind of tired of me always picking a camera up every time I see him just doing anything. So again, it's just a great stealth camera that allows you to get shots whether you're with your family, on a pro gig, street photography. It's awesome for. I haven't done any photo shoots with it, and I kind of want to, because I've seen guys that do photo shoots with the X100. I mean, it's beautiful, right? So anyway, if you're a DSLR shooter and you're kind of tempted by all the hype that you've heard around Fuji, it's every camera system is different. And Fuji isn't for everybody, just like Nikon isn't for everybody, or Canon, or Leica even. I don't know, maybe Leica is. But every camera system, you find the camera system that works for you. I thought it was Canon. I thought Canon was the one for me. But Fuji has ruined me for dating any outside the brand, for going with Nikon or Canon. I'm a Fuji guy. I love it. This was the camera that brought me into it. So if you're a DSLR shooter and you just kind of want to have something to play around with, man, pick up an X100, the X100T, or even if you just find a used X100 or X100S, it'll be interesting for you, and maybe might even make you start thinking of coming on over, man. I don't know. Anyway, you do what's best for you. But I just wanted to share this. Fuji X100 series, the X100T. I love it, and it changed photography in so many ways for me. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. I'm Ted Vieira. If you have any questions about any of the gear that I have, I'll be happy to answer anything I can. Okay, thanks.